This is exercise set 7.5 where they're doing applications of problems. Before you do exercise set, you should look at this page here. And this page here talks about the strategy for solving word problems. It says to read the problem carefully many times, of course, know what you need to solve for and what you're given. Generally what will happen is there's a way to take what you're given, put it into a formula and come up with what you need to solve for. X has to represent the unknown variable and represent everything else in terms of X. So that means that you will end up with some kind of inequality, because this is about inequalities, but you'll end up with an inequality that only has an X variable in it. Make a diagram if you want to, whatever for the rest, but this is the important part here. X has to represent the unknown variable, represent everything else in terms of X. So having said that, let's go back to this one here. This one doesn't even require any figuring out. Use the graphs of the profit function to determine business expenses, profit interval, and maximum profit. This is actually written by a math teacher who doesn't understand business, and that's why when they say business expenses, what they're really talking about are the fixed expenses, the expenses the business incurs whether it produces or not. So here you have a graph of profit versus units sold, and it shows that if there are 0 units sold, in other words right here on the y-axis, if there are 0 units sold, the profit is negative 11.25, and that must mean that the company is spending 11.25 whether they produce or not. So business expenses, 11.25. As they produce, if they produce 10 units, then profit is 0. It means that they break even. If they produce more than 10 units, the profit here is positive, all the way up to the point where they produce 50 units and make $2,000, which is the maximum. So the maximum profit right here is $2,000 at a production of 50 units. The profit interval then is all the times when the function is above the x-axis, so between 10 and 90, anywhere between units of 10 or anywhere between 10 or 90 units sold will result in a profit, so that's your profit interval.